Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm Bridget. So I'm certified in yoga, Pilates, I teach barre, I teach group fitness, pretty much everything. Today we are doing yoga. Again, we are doing a low back workout really that will kind of help you stretch and open up and lengthen the spine so that you don't have tightness. So we're going to do a lot of things to open up in the hamstrings and hips. If you have a yoga block and a strap, if you have those available to you, you will use those today. If not, you can use a towel in place of the strap, or you can use anything that you have to give you extra height if you have something. Even sometimes I use something that's just like a can or a block or something that you have out of your pantry, right? Something that you can hold on to. So anything to give you a little more stability. We are going to start sitting down today. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana. So as we do, we're going to come down to our back, and we're going to take our feet together, knees open up, and you can bring your feet pretty much as close as you can in towards your body. So you want to be able to do that. If you feel like you're not getting close enough with your feet, you can always move your hips towards your feet to move a little bit more that way. So we're going to open up a little bit here. We should have space underneath the back here. And you're going to go ahead and rest your hands first at your belly. So let your shoulders release away from the ears. Close your eyes. And with the mouth closed and the eyes closed, feel the rise and fall of the breath through the belly. So as you kind of quiet down the body and listen to your breath, allow yourself to feel that. Take a moment in silence to just stay here with the breath. After you finish a few more rounds of just your quiet breathing with yourself here and just a nice natural breath, you're going to go ahead and just take your hands and bring your hands to the outside of your thighs. And you can gently open your eyes when you're ready. We're going to take our knees up toward the ceiling, and we're going to first take the right knee and pull it in toward the chest. So as you draw in here, take your back down a little bit further to the mat. Sometimes I interlock my fingers to do that, and I'm drawing in. Then I'm going to extend my other leg. So the left leg extends to flex both your feet. So you're really active through the legs. This is where I always need a strap, so you'll see when we come into this how it gets. We're going to take the hands behind the leg, so right to the hamstring. Again, I'm going to interlock my fingers and draw my leg in. So I'm trying to really get my thigh to my chest as I'm here. And then from here, I'm trying to straighten my leg. And you'll notice with my limited range of flexibility, and this is just my natural range, right? It's tight, so that's why I like a strap. If you already reach for your feet and you have no problem with that, go ahead and reach for your foot and extend your leg there. But we want to work on straightening the leg. So as I'm bringing that thigh toward my chest, I'm working on straightening my leg, but I'm keeping my thigh toward my chest, which makes it hard because right about here, I can't get any further. So I'm going to start to bring that leg a little bit away as I lengthen it up. Just see where you can get. So this is where I feel like I'm really, really working. I'd rather balance on my hands, right, than stretch because this is really tight. So I'm reaching here and lengthening. Shoulders are going to be down. And then I'm just getting as much length in both of my legs as I can. Now when I'm here, I'm really working on getting a lot of a good stretch here in my hamstrings, but it helps release a lot of tension in my low back. So this is a great place to be. Staying for a few more deep breaths while you're here. And then on your next breath, I'm going to have you just bend your right knee in. And you're going to release your strap over to your side again. You'll use it later, so don't worry. Right arm is going to come out to your side, palm down. Take the knee with the left hand, bring that across the body. Look out over your right shoulder if that feels okay for you, because you're going into a nice spinal twist here. So we're twisting through the waist, ribs, and chest. Abs are in. Take another breath. And then from here, go ahead and bring it back to center. From here, we're going to go into Supta Tadasana, which is a nice long stretch here. We do this standing, right? So Supta means we're lying down. We're going to flex the feet and lengthen overhead. So this is like our mountain pose. Reaching and lengthening, so we're bringing space between the ribs. One more breath, and then from here, go ahead and bend your knees and let your feet come back to the mat. So left knee comes into the chest here. Just draw it in, see how it feels to kind of take a moment in that. The right leg is going to extend out, flex the foot. Flex your left foot too. Hold it here. So just breathing into this because this feels good, but to be able to stretch further, the hand comes to the hamstring. We're going to interlock the fingers there, draw it in. So I could stay here, but if I draw it in, I'm really actively stretching. I'm going to start to lengthen the left leg. So when I'm starting to lengthen, I'm trying to press that leg away. This is where I'm not getting a straight leg. I'm not working here. So I get the strap because I already was working hard just to get that far, right? And thigh to chest, and then I start working. And again, this is where I'm like, oh my gosh, right? Huge stretch for me. So if you're coming into the splits or something like that, great, your leg will be pretty far forward. If you are like me, it takes every ounce of everything I have to be able to stretch my hamstrings, right? So, and even with the length of my legs and where I work, this takes everything for me. So as I'm breathing here, my shoulders stay down and I'm lengthening. But I really am working on the length. If I'm here, this isn't really working. So we really want to stay with active, long legs, flexing the feet and staying in this. Taking a few deep breaths right here. So as I come into this, I always feel like my foot starts to go away from me just because this is such a stretch for me. Stay for another breath, and then from here you can bend your knee, take your strap, release it to the side. The hand here, so you're going to take your right hand across the knee, other hand down, palm down, and then the knee goes across the body. I'm keeping my left shoulder grounded. Gaze can go out in that direction. My abs are in. I'm feeling that nice stretch here, so this should feel really good. Staying one more breath. We are going to come back to center from here. And then take your legs and extend all the way out, arms overhead. Last time in your Supta Tadasana, flexing your feet. And then take your knees into your chest. Both knees this time come in, and then hands are going to come behind the knees. Take a breath here. We're going to gently just rock ourselves up. If that bothers you, you don't have to rock up. We are going to come into child's pose. So feet come to one side. Hands are going to come down shoulder width apart. I'm at the front edge of my mat with my hands. My feet are going to be together, knees apart, and I'm going to sit way back here. So I'm trying to get my tailbone to come down. I'm trying to really sit down on those heels. My arms are long in front, and I'm breathing here. And this is a great way. So when you're getting this opposition, we're sinking down, but we're also reaching forward with the arms. So we've got that opposition here, but your arms should stay long. See if you can plant the hands and rotate the upper arms a bit. So notice if I'm not rotating them, they might be somewhere here. I'm going to work those biceps upward and the elbow down. From here, we're going to rock forward to the hands, come into one downward facing dog. So fingers spread wide. I'm going to tuck the toes, lift the tailbone, draw the abs in, and see if you can work here into this stretch. So when we're working here, we're really trying to work on the legs. So the same legs that we're just using. And that's really important because a lot of what we do is going to have that foundation. So draw the front of your thigh to the back of the thigh, actively engage, so almost taking your inner thighs back, so you're working there. You can take your heels kind of out to feel that. Take a moment here, and usually this is where I feel like my heels are up high, right? So I'm going to work them down just a little bit, and then look forward, bend your knees, and slowly walk your feet up to your hands. Keep your feet hips width. Hands are going to come to the shins, or you can use your block for this. I like to use the block and lengthen out. So when I'm lengthened out, I'm looking forward and I'm trying to keep the length of my spine. That way I'm not rounding and putting extra pressure there. So lengthening here, holding, actively working through the legs. Make sure your toes are pointed forward from you, slightly pigeon-toed if you need to. Stay here nice and long. Working the thighs back again, so even here. And then from here, we're gonna take our hands to our hips and we're gonna come all the way up, nice and long. So I'm gonna face you, you can face me here on the mat. We're gonna come into this with the feet really wide. I'm already gonna get my block because I know it's gonna be really helpful for me to do. I'm going to have you start on your right side. So you're going to go ahead and turn your right toes all the way out to the side. When you rotate your right leg, it shouldn't be like, oh, my right toes, my knee, my femur turns to that side. And I'm going to line up my left arch with that heel. So I'm going to turn my heel outward a little bit, toes in to feel that. I have a lot of space between my legs, so I'm talking like a few feet at least. 3 to 4 feet will work. My block is helpful just because I'm not going to reach the floor, and you'll see me when I do this. So my block is in my right hand. You do not have to use it. Other arm is up too. Inhale here, exhale. As we reach out, notice that that left hip is moving outward. Feel that length. Inhale, exhale, we come down. So when I bring the block down to the outside of the leg, right, it's on the outside of the foot, I'm able to rotate upward through the left side of my body. So left ribs roll open and upward. We don't want any pressure on the shoulder. That's really important because if you feel like you're hurting your shoulder or your back in this, you're probably not moving from the twist. So you should bring your hand here so that you can see if you can roll. Notice the rotation that you have yourself. From here, we're going to take the hand to the hip. And I'm going to grab my block because, again, I know that I use it. If you do not need it, you don't. We're going to reach back out a little bit further, and I'm going to bend my knee to get here, right? So we're all going to take it. We're going to take that hand. Right hand should be a foot to 18 inches from your pinky toe. So when I set that up here, I'm still using my block, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can really get down into that to feel less weight here, okay? So I'm going to start to move it in just a little bit, step it in a little bit. I notice I'm on the ball of my foot now. I'm staying there now. I'm putting all the pressure on my standing leg so I can lift this leg up. Now, if this is too much of an issue for you, if I use a wall or something behind me, I can still come into this pose, right? Actively working here. So usually it's up to you. Your top arm is going to come up and stabilize your body. So balance, it can really, you can use anything to help you. We're bringing length to the spine. One more breath and then gently come up. Good. We're going to go to the other side. So we're going to set up here and back on my mat. My feet are really wide still. So when I turn here, I'm starting to turn on the other side. So my entire left leg turns out. So I'm outward of the knee, the toes, everything lines up. Really important always the knees and toes go in the same direction. So in here, this back knee is helped by the foot turning in a little bit. So that way I have left heel to right arch. I've got that alignment, lots of space between the feet. My block is in my left hand. I'm going to reach out. My other hip is moving outward so I can get a little bit more length. On your exhale, come down. So my hand is on the outside of the foot or toward the ankle. My other arm is up. So when I'm here and I'm rotating upward, I notice that I'm just feeling a little bit more length there. So this is really good. Still really strong straight legs. So notice I'm not bending here, pushing through. I want to use my quadriceps to lengthen everything up. We're going to come up. So I'm going to take my hand, right hand to hip, left hand holds the block. I'm going to tilt a little bit more. I'm going to reach a little bit further, bend the knee. My hand comes down. So this is where I've got about a foot to 18 inches between my hand and the pinky toe. And then I'm going to go ahead and slide inward. So I'm putting all that weight on the front leg. The back leg is held up just on the ball of the foot. So when I start to work here, I'm working on balance. I'm going to lift, 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 work through that leg, lengthen, flex the foot, top arm comes up. I'm breathing here. So again, if I'm here and I need to back up against a wall, I'm just going to back up against a wall, right? Or anything that's going to support me a little bit so I'm not worried about moving here. So we're using strong, straight legs, breathing into this, staying for another breath. When you're ready to release, we're going to go ahead and bend the front knee and come all the way up. Good. So from here, we're gonna come back to using our mat a little bit further for some other positions. So when you bring your block down, you can go ahead and face forward. Make sure you're kind of at the front edge of your mat. So we're gonna come into our Tadasana, our mountain pose, and our hands are together. Inhale, lengthen all the way up. Exhale, we're gonna dive down, but we're gonna come into that nice half fold. So I'm folding down about halfway. I'm gonna bring my hands down to my shins. And then from here, I'm gonna bend the knees a little bit to get my hands down under the shoulders. So part of having a nice strong back, low back, is having a nice strong core. Our abs are in and we come back to plank. So hands under shoulders, pull the belly up, and then bring it to your down dog. Nice big stretch back. I'm gonna widen the space between my feet to feel that stretch more. Tailbone up, breathing into this as we stretch back. Take a few more deep breaths here. And then as you exhale, go ahead and bend your knees. Knees come back to the mat. We're gonna take the feet to one side, and we are gonna come into one hip opener before we're finished here. So the feet are gonna come down, and then this is always helpful too, just in case some of the low back tightness comes from that. Low backness, that's a new one I made up. So right ankle crosses over your left knee. You're gonna take your right knee out to the side. So as you flex your right foot, you're working here, your right knee is moving out. So you can feel that. So you can stay here, feeling that stretch. Sometimes I like to take this a little bit further, extending my other leg and bringing this into a Padmasana leg or lotus, half lotus. If I draw the top of the foot downward, bottom of the foot up, knee working down, I can stretch there a little bit, flexing my left knee and lengthening here. So this is a good place to take another twist. We're gonna inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, left hand to right knee. The right hand comes behind you, and you're gonna lift and lengthen all the way through the spine. On your exhale, you're gonna twist a little bit deeper. So you're gonna draw your belly in and rotate waist, ribs, and chest a little bit more. So if your rotation is really working there, you're gonna be able to take your right hand off the mat and reach it behind you, possibly to that foot, right? It'll touch somewhere or grab, hopefully. Bring it to one more breath and then release here. Good, we'll go to the other side. So right leg reaches out, and then both knees come in so we can take that left foot up. So I'm gonna cross that left ankle over the right knee, flex that foot. So see how that feels here. So I'm working my left knee open, and this is a good place to stay. Feels good to be able to open up a little bit here. And then with your next breath, extend your right leg out. See if you can bring that leg in a little bit further. So as I draw this leg in, I'm turning the bottom of the foot up toward the ceiling. The knee is working downward. I'm flexing actively with my right foot, and I'm breathing into this. Reaching the arms up, lengthen, exhale, right hand to the outside of the left knee. Other hand is behind you for support. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, draw the abs in so that you can turn a little bit more and a little bit more. This is where if my left hand feels like it could reach to my foot. I always wonder if it does, right? If it's gonna get there on this side. But we're working, I'm still trying to get that other knee open as I reach toward my foot. My other foot is flexed. One more breath. As you exhale, gently release. So we're gonna extend here. Before we do, it's a gentle slide off and extend, okay? So that way we don't hurt anything. So once we're here, lengthen through the spine again. Work on that lengthening through the crown of the head. Really important for us to do. And then we're gonna bend the knees back in, and this will give us a moment to come into Shavasana, if that works for you. Usually at the end of our practice, even if it's short, we want to do that. So we're gonna come down to lying on our mat. And here you can go ahead, again, if you have a lot of tightness that is not going away here, feel free to keep your knees up and together. You can always slide something underneath your legs, okay? So once we're here, I'm gonna turn my palms up, shoulders away. I'm gonna move this away so I'm not touching anything. And then I'm gonna extend my legs. If that does not work for your back, keep your knees up. Eyes closed, face soft. Get into that quiet and just breathe. take a moment. What's really important too is that we don't let some of the tension from the body, right, and some of the things that we're letting in by not quieting down the body kind of move us into something else that we don't need. So breath is moving, we're in the moment, and we go into our quiet. What I'd like to give you here is a few more moments of however much time that you need to stay mindful and aware of your healing. If you are ready to come out of this, you're going to just bend your knees in, reach your arms overhead, and then you can gently roll to one side. I'm going to roll towards you. You could always go to your right. My top arm here is down for support, and then that's going to be my hand that's going to help me up. That way I don't jar the body. So I'm going to kind of end back in our easy pose, which is a good way we usually start our practice, with our legs crossed. Take your hands together. Take your thumbs to the forehead. The light within me salutes the light within all of you. Namaste, everybody. Thanks for being with me. I hope you join me for another one, and have a great day. Bye.